Peck. Final happy hour. I don't know why. I forgot what episode it is again. I should think about that before I start. But season 5, I believe, episode 12. Welcome to Vinyl Happy Hour. I am Skylar Davis, owner of Culture Shock Clothing and Records here in Rockford, Illinois, where it was almost 100 degrees today, but I'm still drinking whiskey to enjoy a little record breakdown and discuss some of the new records that are available for the week and talk about some of the indie store exclusives and other special releases. It's going to be a little bit of a bittersweet video because there is something I really, when you make a plan to do something and then that plan falls through, well, something fell through, but we're going to get through it anyway. So again, you can also find these records that we're talking about here tonight on cultureshockshop.com, and there is a link below in the description of our YouTube video to the staff picks, and you'll find these records and a few other kind of hot releases and some of our favorite releases for right now. You can also pre-order upcoming releases, which is getting extremely important because some things are selling out or we're getting allocated very short amounts of some things. So that's a smart thing to check out. So cheers, guys. Here we go. The first record. A lot of talk going on with the Black Keys right now. The Black Keys have been really fun over the years. They really started out really rootsy, bluesy, raw, just garage rock. Oddly enough, a two-piece band, but they really brought the rock. Those earlier albums were just so loud and so heavy, made you wonder, how do these two guys make this big sound? But anyway, their new album, Dropout Boogie, it is really a boogie rockin' album. There's a little bit more of a polished pop feel to it, but it's just got a good, raw, driving, bluesy feel to it still. This is the indie store exclusive. As you see, I actually didn't even recognize the guys at first, but that's them at first there. It's nice to see on an LP instead of the digital format or digital file. But yeah, that's Patrick Carney and Dan Auerbach of the Black Keys. And it's just a single album, which I love. A good album right now is a single LP to me. It's got to have a lot of really good material to make it worth going beyond the 30, 40, or 50-minute mark. And these guys get right to it. Nice, good, short, boogie, blues rockin' ones. And it makes sense. I actually didn't realize on Good Love, I think, that last song here on the first side, that's got Billy Gibbons playing guitar and just really letting it sing. That's the guitarist from ZZ Top. But they've got the tone down great. They've got a great sounding album here. There's a couple songs that do venture kind of a little more, one of my friends actually, Matt, said it sounds like ELO or something, really well put together, well polished, lots of layered and stuff like that. And yeah, I agree. There can be a couple songs that do sound a little bit more like that, more produced. So it's not going to be as raw and gritty as some of their previous albums where there's a lot more bluesy feel to it. But yeah, it's a good boogie rock. Not a lot of interesting things with the packaging other than just cool artwork and stuff like that. There was no hype sticker on it too about it being an indie store exclusive, but there's white vinyl inside. And it did come with, this is a fun little thing, it comes with a pink slip, the Black Keys Dropout Boogie. And then it's you can fill out the reasons for missing class, skip class, talk during class, insubordination, cheating, stuff like that. See Mrs. Jones immediately after class to determine your punishment. So that was kind of a fun little insert that you got from Easy Eye Sound and None Such Records inside. I was wondering if this is a download code even. It might not be. I don't know. That would have been fun if it was a download code, but I don't use those anyway. But it talks about some of the personnel on the album and stuff like that. So there's no artwork or inner sleeve with any artwork, so that was kind of an interesting way for them to show the credits on the album and some extra details on it. And it has a poly-lined inner sleeve, which I know we always like. All the labels fun too. It kind of reminds me of like a little kid's coloring book or something, going with that whole school theme, the whole Dropout Boogie. So you got your homework on side B, and then these white records, you can really see a little piece of dust when it's on there. And then this is just kind of fun little drawings that you would see on a little kid's book or in elementary school even or something like that. But yeah, most importantly, it's just a great sounding album. So I'm quite pleased with the new Black Keys album. Let me know what you think though. I'd love to hear a comment to see what you guys think about it. That is a brand new release that's out this week. Typically we talk about brand new releases or, a reissue of something special. This next one has actually been out for a minute. I don't know how long a minute is, but maybe a couple of months. But I've been really digging it, and it's kind of become a slow burn for me. This is Orville Peck's new album, Bronco, double LP. This is, like I just said, a longer album, so it took me a while to really digest it and get into it. It's got a great centerfold of him with this sporting this Bronco country western jacket, and then you got the Buck and Bronco on the front cover behind him. What a mysterious man Orville Peck is, because well, he's a gay cowboy. You know, he's got this whole gay thing going on, and a lot of straight and gay fans. And in the country scene, that's not a huge thing. So it's been really interesting to see that dynamic of it, and to see him really embrace that and his whole look and this mysterious look. He's always masked too. So he's always got this like some sort of a mask on and like something covering his face. So just before you even hear the music, there's some mysteriousness to it. But then you hear the music, so well done, so well recorded. I mean, God, there's parts of like Elvis and Johnny Cash, but I also hear like Roy Orbison and like, God, even up to like the Smiths or something else like that. There's just something very alluring to it, very interesting. Such a cool album. I know a lot of people have gone to see him play, seen, you know, some live shows and tours. This is definitely third or fourth album now. So he's been getting some TV spots, some good shows, and just a lot of good hype for many years now. Kind of come from the underground. It's such a good album though, just so well recorded, and just got this kind of that country tinge, like a little bit somber, a little sad feeling, a little sad sounding, but just done so well and so interesting. So yeah, it's just a cool album. And like I said, the mysteriousness behind it all, and just all the kind of that weird look and stuff going with it, I appreciate the artistry and all of it, and I appreciate the music. So I've been really giving it some time to get into it, and I decided I got to get this, and I wanted to share kind of my love of the album with you guys and show it off a little bit. But definitely check out Orville Peck's Bronco, and then go back and check out his previous albums as well. All really good stuff. This one, it's my favorite so far though. I mean, and like it's funny because I just said I don't really like a long album, but damn, this one hits right. I mean, there's just some really good songs. And I don't usually listen to vocals even. I don't really care about the words that much, but when it's done well, when it's done right, I mean, it's easy to get into. So, okay, now let's flip. This is 180. This is totally different. This is Suicide Boys. This is the, oh my God, Long-Term Effects of Suffering. This is a crazy rap album. I do love some good hip hop. This is like gangster, hardcore rap, trap, cloud rap, whatever you want to call it. Some youngsters from New Orleans, they started years ago, you know, 10, 12 years ago, they've been making rap albums and stuff like that. They're cousins. I'm drawing a blank on their names, but it's also like a duo. And they produce and make their own music, and write their own lyrics, do their own videos and songs, and probably have their own label even. I think it's on a small label. But they started in that whole cloud rap scene, stuff like that. And they also come from New Orleans, which is kind of strange, but you don't hear about a lot of stuff like that coming out of that. So New Orleans has its own scene going on, and they're all about the New Orleans scene. And some of the song titles here, like If Self-Destruction Was an Olympic Event, I'd be Tanya Harding. So they really play into some kind of crazy different stuff. It's punk rock, it's metal, it's aggressive, it's rap, it's trap, it's gangster rap. It's very interesting, very dark graphic lyrics. I mean, there's like, what am I even looking at here? Is this someone falling into a broken building or something? Like, I don't even know. Here's someone falling out of a building on fire or something like that. It has just very strange art. Here's your skeletons on the back. Here's someone vomiting into a toilet and stuff like that. It's pretty weird, but the beats are so good. The beats they hit so hard. The bass, the beats, everything. Just the distorted vocals, the aggressive vocals. One of the cousins was more into like punk rock and heavy punk rock and stuff like that for years, and the other one was more of a DJ producer, stuff like that. And they collaborated to make the Suicide Boys. I can also tell you that a lot of their previous albums, like I think the album I Want to Die in New Orleans a few years ago was when I first heard about them, and man, that is a good album. And I'd love to have it on record. That's how I prefer to have my albums, but it's so expensive, it's so hard to find. It was probably self-released or something. I don't even know if that was available in stores. This may be one of the first releases that's been available to stores. Oh, I should also mention, was also extra interesting. This is glow-in-the-dark vinyl. I tested, I made sure it was under a light. I went in the bathroom and closed the door to check it out, and it's hovering and glowing like a UFO. So it's also glow-in-the-dark vinyl, which is also interesting. That's the only way it's available as far as I know. Probably pretty limited stuff. I don't think this group's going to put out a large amount of each of their releases. Like most of these records, you have to get it when you see it or know it's out. But Suicide Boys, both of the S's, the beginning and the end of Suicide Boys, has the money sign for the S, by the way. I don't know if that would affect things if you're searching for it or whatever, but there's the link right here into our website. I'm going to take this moment to do something really horrible. I was drinking some of this. I've been saving up. I was going to open my new bottle. I got a new bottle of the new brew of the new Iowa small batch Slipknot whiskey that Jared got for me. Iowa is out on vinyl this week. They're finally reissuing their second album. That's why I've been drinking some of this. And I was planning on having a Slipknot party. That was going to be my whole vinyl happy hour. Oh, that's an unpredictable thing, though, because guess what? We hardly got any. Most of our pre-orders and stuff got them. There's actually a couple of people who are still waiting. Hopefully we're going to be getting more, but we have none available for sale, none on our website, none in the store this weekend. It's upsetting. Just a few weeks ago, around Record Store Day, Slipknot's first album, the self-titled one, got released, and we got a whole stack of it. I mean, we had plenty for all of our pre-orders, and we had 20-something copies or more even out during Record Store Day, and that weekend we had a whole bunch of them, and all the pre-orders got them. I don't know what happened. The vinyl industry is an unpredictable thing sometimes, so even me and Jared, like me and my employee, we didn't even get a copy for ourselves, and it's on green vinyl, so we gave it up to our pre-orders first. I'm hoping to get more soon, but in the light of this being a bad day for us not getting the records we wanted, I'm going to have a shot of Jepson's Malort. I save this usually for a bad album, but in this case, it was a bad allocation on albums. So this is a Chicago liquor. There's a whole history behind how it came out of Prohibition as a medicine or something like that, but it's touted as a Chicago hipster drink or a bartender's choice. It is one of the worst liquors ever made. Oh. But as we've had it a few times over the years, it does get better. So this is where I want to talk about Slipknot in Iowa. And then Volume 3 is coming out. Hopefully we'll get plenty of those. We'll see. So that's enough about Slipknot for now. Let's move on. This is a reissue of an album that I thought I didn't know. I love From Autumn to Ashes. This is Abandon All Your Friends. And Vagrant Records has been doing the anniversary series and reissues. I had this on a burned CD as a youngster. It's just black. What's funny about this being on black vinyl, though, is the hype sticker says it's going to be on color vinyl, but the color is black vinyl. This album's so good. This is like a good kind of screaming hardcore album, but kind of emo hardcore album, too, and there's some parts where they kind of talk scream. It's not singing all the time. It's a really good album, but I thought I didn't know this album or didn't maybe like this album even. I liked their first few albums. I had the burned CD of this, and I never saw the artwork, so I didn't know what it was. And then I got this and listened. I was like, oh God, I know every song. I love this album. From Autumn to Ashes was a great band, kind of more overlooked in that hardcore scene. This came out in 2005 and stuff like that when I was starting to move more into more like metalcore, and just other types of music and stuff like that. So I really got into their earlier 2000s stuff. This is also a great album. So it's cool to see the Vagrant Records doing a lot of emo, punk, hardcore, and other things from the record label over the years. Like I said, with all these albums, get them when you can. This link's available. You should go check them out if you didn't listen to them when they were new. But I think this is another one that might have never been on vinyl, because a lot of those 90s and 2000s things just weren't available on vinyl or CD and cassette only. So check that out. Oh, there is another new release I want to mention, though, before I talk about these reissues. Weezer. Oh, my God. Tell me what you want. You'll have to tell me what Wave Break is. I don't even know, but we were able to score some of these Weezer 7-inch singles. Wave Break must be a video game. So they did a song on a video game. Just a little 7-inch single. Tell me what you want. On, I don't know what color this is. I'm going to call it coral. I don't know. But it's just, I think it's $15.99, $16.99. I think it's $17. For one song. It's just a 7-inch single, some limited 7-inch single. And then it's got this like spotted B-side. Like, it's kind of like a, hopefully you can see that, like a textured or whatever you want to call it. So printed thing. But anyway, so that's it. Just a little 7-inch single from Weezer. I know they're working on some sort of spring, summer, fall series coming out. I don't know if that's coming out on vinyl yet. I assume it will. But I do know a lot of things like this, especially if it's tied to like a movie or a video game or a license, they're usually going to be pretty limited. So get it while you can. We have a link for that on our site. We have some in the store. Here's a great jazz reissue. This is the Sewing Records label, and they've been doing some great classic jazz pieces, some stuff that gets a little overlooked sometimes, and they're doing them on clear vinyl. This is like an earlier jazz piece, the great Red Garland Quintet, Red on piano. You got Coltrane on tenor, and Donald Byrd on trumpet, Art Taylor drums, George Joyner, who I don't know, was on bass, but this was a great quintet on that earlier bop jazz stuff. It's a great sounding album, just a really hard to find original, of course. A really great piece. I also love how this is early in Coltrane and Donald Byrd's career. So this is Red Garland featuring those guys, you know. They're just kind of an afterthought because this is before they blew up and had a lot of solo albums. So, hold on, I need a little bit of Slipknot whiskey. That Malort's still there. That's a little sweeter. That's a little better. So it's been a hot day, but it's still nice to have a good whiskey. So anyway, so yeah, definitely check out this. There's a lot going on right now with the Verve record label, of course, and the Blue Note. They're doing the classic series and the Tone Poet, like all audiophile analog series. These sound great, and they are clear vinyl. And they sound great. I'm not sure if they're analog, though. I have a feeling they may be from a digital source, but it's a great album. It's nice to hear it no matter what way we can get it, as long as it sounds great. Obviously, I do prefer the analog series. That's why I like the Blue Note and the Verve acoustic sounds. But check this out if you can. Like I said, every single week, we like to do a new vinyl happy hour and feature some different records. So please check out the Culture Shock channel. Go back and check out our previous vinyl happy hours if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel. Definitely give it a like. Of course you want to like it. And follow our social media. We like to put updates on so many things that are coming in, new and used, of course, but our Facebook and our Instagram is definitely a way to find out more about that. And we update our site every week with new releases and pre-orders for upcoming releases. So we will see you for the next Vinyl Happy Hour. Every Thursday we drop a new video, and we'll be actually doing a special video next week with a guest. So watch for our social media. I'll put a leak out about what we're going to be talking about next week. Cheers.